My car will look at me with its familiar, burning look, as a tiger looking at its prey, and together we break right into the action.
Mama, I'm a criminal. Mama, I'm a criminal. Mama, I'm a criminal, criminal, criminal. Mama, I'm a criminal. Mama, I'm a criminal. Mama, I'm a criminal, criminal, criminal.
Hello boys and girls, nice to see you all back. I'm Davidich, and you are watching D3, and today I'm going to tell you about a Mercedes G63 AMG. We came to our friends to Irkutsk, and these guys have 3 of them. We used to test G-Wagons before and lots of people liked it. But anyway, we need your response and your comments just to be aware what kind of a content you want to see. Share the links to our videos and hit the like buttons. The previous G-Wagon we tested used to be a piece of crap and still it is. How good is this one? I don't know. We're going to test it, figure it out and tell you about it. You may ask me, why do we associate these cars with gangsters in Russia? That's because they used to drive them in the 90s, and also in all the movies of that period gangsters drove G-Wagons. That's why I thought, what do such people and these cars have actually in common? Why did they choose these cars? I tried to find the answer in my head, and I came to some conclusions. First of all, this car is like a cage, it reminds me of a prison cell, same shape, and also, these doors close with the same sound. For me, there's the straight association with the cell door and the sound the cage gets closed. So, in some way this closed cage means safety. You get to a personal world, to a personal room, and no one's going to get you. You can see 3 cars. A G-Wagon G63 AMG, all in black, a true gangster. This automobile has 20-inch black wheels, 9-inch wide, it's got studded tires, a black interior and black optics. This car is a bandit, and I think this must be an original G-Wagon look. The car standing behind my back is actually dark blue, and it has a wide interior. I see the owner of such a car in such colors as a man who lives a life full of some criminal romanticism. He may not be a real criminal, but he may want to consider himself one. I would say he's just a poser. And the third car is a car for a pimp. It has a red interior. Driving such a car, you must be wearing some red socks and go solve some problems. These cars used to have some issues with the hood. Was it so difficult to put a second thing from that side? Just look at this hood, it's bending under its weight. It costs $135,000. You think it's okay for such a price? It's already not straight, and finally they fixed this problem. Good job. I wonder if they came up with it themselves. This car cost $270. Each of these cars cost about $270,000. What do we see here? We don't see a shit. And the only thing that caught my eye under this hood was this strange hole right over here. I thought they lost some cover. But let's compare it to other cars. Did this one also lose its cover? There can't be such a coincidence. I guess this opening is made for better ventilation, and it must be a part of a cooling system. And by the way, according to this heatsink, And each of these cars has this thing. It must be very hot inside here. So it's not much to see under this hood. The main question is how powerful it is. We're just driving this G-Wagon around Irkutsk, trying to figure out what it is, and it's much lighter than the previous car. Without a doubt. It used to have front and rear axles, but now, I'll better translate it for you. It used to have a stick with 2 wheels on it and drove like boom, boom, boom. And now it works like this. The right and the left will work independently, if to explain it in plain language. Come on. It's got an explosion, it jumps forward. I like the acceleration. Whoa, that's the first time I see Irkutsk. Police officers, hi guys, what's up? How are you? Were they addressing it to us? They want to get acquainted. You're welcome. Good day, sir. Hello. Irkutsk Road Police, I'm Inspector. Nice to meet you. Sir, why did you stop at the green light? I thought I didn't have enough time to finish the maneuver. It's a new city for us, we don't know the roads. Okay then, try to drive more carefully next time. Sure, we're driving very carefully. Have a good day, sir. You too, thanks. This is how polite and well-mannered these police officers in Irkutsk are. I like that. That's a good example of a good cop. I already found one problem with this car, but this thing often happens to other Mercedes cars. This car has some problem with the interior air valve, and as I have said before, all the 3 of these cars have the same problem. If I open the window and then close it, my ears get plugged. Don't know why, but my ears just pooped. But I guess there's some problem with the valve that is responsible for the interior pressure. It must be closed, and it happens with all of these 3 cars. If you have never driven a G-Wagon, I can tell you that it used to steer the way it looks like, and those who drove it will agree, because it's big and heavy and lazy and clumsy. And when you used to floor it and get it going, it didn't, but this car does. It lost some of its weight, and you don't have to struggle the steering wheel anymore. But this car is same controversial, because when you try to go into some sharp corner, it stumbles. This is the old G-Wagon's legacy, they didn't fix it. It leans to sides. A car with such a price must stick to the ground, god damn it. If you live outside the big city, somewhere in the country, and you don't want to buy that soulless Toyota Land Cruiser or a Lexus LX 570 with its horrible, ugly menu. So if you want your car to be a full-fledged SUV and a fast SUV, this car is your choice. This car doesn't impress, but it's making a good impression, though an X5 would already be in the end of this street, an X5M. But the feeling that this huge square building raised from the ground, stood on wheels and began to run somewhere is just priceless. This car is interesting. It's controversial, but it's interesting. All of these 3 cars, they have very noisy rear axles. All of them. When the road stops being smooth, it's just boom, 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 boom. You can easily hear that as if it's being loose. And I really wonder, do you consider it okay when you buy a car for 270,000 bucks? And that's a 63 G-Wagon. And first you have to stand in line, and in the end get a car with some strange noises from the rear axle, cause it feels like something is not attached well. And believe me, all of these 3 cars have the same issue. It's true, and we've bought all of these 3 cars. So I can say that Mercedes has almost $1 million problem. I have the right to say that. Just imagine how soon it's going to piss you off. You paid so much money for it. God damn it. Are you kidding me? Yes, the design has changed. It's got some smoother shapes, but I have to confess that I like it. It looks okay. Cause I used to drive an old G-Wagon, and that car had 2 sharp and square shapes, with its insane rubber seals. So guys, believe me, everything that old car could do was 130 miles per hour down the hill. That car was insane, the windshield was shaking like this, and that windshield was always chipped because of the resistance and its crazy shape. And this car looks more rounded, and I like how it looks like, I have to admit it. I like its front, I like the grille, and I like the bumper, and I like this car. This is why we're testing it in D3. So what's new here? they have changed the shape of these blinkers, and they look pretty cute. And also these moldings that are placed from the sides of the car. Now they look more harmonious because the ones they used to place here before were ugly and huge. They used to be totally useless. Also, all the 63s have wider fender arches. It's beautiful, it looks stylish and cool. And also I think that 22-inch wheels look ridiculous on this car. This is just showing off. It's same stupid as wearing sharp pants in Irkutsk at -37. That's how stupid it is. This car is a bandit, and it must be able to get you out of any trouble and any mess you get into. It must be able to run over everyone and escape to safe house. 22-inch wheels is a wrong choice for this car. You should put 20s with wide section tires. Studded winter tires if you live outside the big city, and some regular winter tires for the city. The windshield is also different. This windshield looks much better, it has more beautiful lines and it's glued inside here. Though I guess it's gonna have all the same problems. I think it's gonna be same sandblasted over here, well, time will tell. And as I have said before, finally they glued this windshield inside here, because earlier it used to hold here with these ugly rubber seals. The guys who used to own such cars know what I mean. And also I like the shape of these mirrors. And these doors used to have sharp corners. It had square shapes and the wind was blowing from every single gap. At the speed of 110 miles per hour it was blowing pretty bad. Hope it's gonna be different. I want to believe that they rounded these doors for some reason. And technologically this car must be better. Getting inside became much easier now. I don't feel any problems. While getting on board, it's actually pretty comfortable. It feels pretty well. In the previous car, I couldn't move my seat back as much as I move it here. And here I moved it so far that I don't even reach the pedals. I mean, that could be a problem for some tall people, and even for me. I didn't feel myself comfortable inside of a 55, but now we can just relax and enjoy. You're just driving it, sitting in an armchair. I simply love this interior. I like the minimalism in this design. I like this new panel. I like the new dashboard and the new menu. The steering wheel is very beautiful, same as this mirror. This interior became very cozy. It became much better than it used to be. Well, they could have worked on this one, cause nothing seems to change here at all. Seems like Mercedes forgot to watch our test drive of a previous model, cause these elements look rather cheap. The roof is all Alcantara, everything is so nice to touch. All the rubber seals and all the covering. Here we have a speaker. Nice. But this car sounds like a jail cell for 3-person, because of the closing door sound. I don't like these door hinges because the paint always comes off here. At least it used to come off on the previous cars. And also I have a question. Couldn't they hide these rubber seals somehow? Because they definitely don't look pretty. I'm saying it because these windows don't have them. Just check it out, it looks much more stylish than that one. I really like how it looks like. Why couldn't they do the same thing here? And look at the back hinges. Again, I have the same question. Is it going to have problems with them? Well, this car has a black spare wheel cap. All this cover is black. It used to corrode on previous cars, so we'll see. The rear optics is nice and stylish and also got rounded. Let's look at the trunk. All of the old G-Wagons used to have constant problems with the noise coming from the trunk all the time. Everything was creaking, cracking and knocking. This plastic is cheap. The trunk looks almost the same as it used to be. We've got a subwoofer from the left. Later we have to check how stiff we can stuff this trunk with people. I try to look around while driving and everything looks so beautiful and interesting. And I'm enjoying it so much because this road is perfect for testing a G-Wagon. It's not afraid of any pits and it's not afraid of any bumps. And it's also enjoying this road. So you simply start to challenge the terrain. Come on, let's try a bigger pit. Or let's try to jump over here. And I assure you that only such roads can help you understand a G-Wagon. But even despite all its comfort, still it's being quite jumpy. G-Wagon's owners know what I mean. This jumpy thing is always here, it's never gone anywhere. Yes, it became much more comfortable, yes. Driving an old G-Wagon on such a road, I would have to hold the steering wheel with both of my hands and always make an effort to keep it on the road. But I can easily hold this car with only one hand. That's why I have no complaints about the steering. Yes, of course it has some disadvantages. For example, if you look at the dashboard, you will see a huge ugly gap. It's under the display right before your eyes. and I can see some technical holes when I look inside of this gap. And when I drive this car in the city and look into this gap, I think, how could they keep it like this for such a price? But when you drive this car in such road conditions, or even worse, you don't pay any attention to all of these holes. You only care about how good this car is. Now let's look at the poser. There he is, a blue car with a white interior. I have to admit that I like these wooden elements. By the way, this interior is very nice to touch because this white Alcantara is everywhere. I enjoy it. Some people say they can fall in love with only the voice of a person. I want to hear its voice. Well, I didn't fall in love. It's not the sound I wanted to hear. It used to sound evil. And it used to sound like this because of the compressor, because it used to have one. It created pressure and it sounded like the different exhaust sound. Of course, they tried to configure the system and get some interesting sound, but it's not that sound. It's not. I'd like it to sound more evil. Lots of people consider the sound of an G63 just great. It sounded evil and cool. Why couldn't they do it here? Unfortunately, I don't enjoy this sound so far. Anyway, this white interior looks a little bit different. There's a microphone over here. The sunroof is all the same. And the same shape. And it's not panoramic. The seats are comfortable. They are much better than that crap these cars used to have. Anyway, the biggest problem of Mercedes I consider the attitude towards their customers, and I don't know why it's like this. After I bought my 55 G-Wagon, I drove it for a year and a half. It costed a bloody fortune. You guys simply robbed me. And it used to have a Dezingo interior, and when it became totally worn out after a year and a half, I came back to you and asked for a warranty repairment. Instead, you gave me a document saying that interior was not original, though you sold it to me, and you told me this is not a warranty case. And I had to struggle with you for a month, and only after a month, you agreed that was an original interior. And this is how you work, Mercedes. It's almost impossible to find your contacts, phone numbers, and emails. It's so hard to work with you and contact you. So let's walk around them and take a look. The new one. It's the 63. I don't know, maybe this is some prank. That's exactly what I was talking about. It's got the same rust on door hinges. And some corrosion on this cap. This is the rubber seal they used to put here. This is how they used to make it. But there's already no rubber seal on this door. It has an aftermarket bumper and sandblasted headlights. How many windshields you already changed? Only 2, not so many. And here's another one. This one is black and it's a 55. And these wheels are ready to any fight. Apart from that pimpy 22-inch wheels. That's a 55 compressor, right? Yes, it is. How much power? 367 as I remember. And how many windshields have you already changed? 2. Again, it's 2. He's the second owner. I got it. And what about the door hinges? Did you paint them? Yeah, I know, they rust all the time. And here's another one. Did you notice these moldings are different? All the 55s and 63s have a big one, and the usual G-Wagon has this one. Is that a 5-liter? Yes, it is. Do you like it? What year? 1998. How long you own it for? For a month. Did it change you somehow? No. How many windshields? Going to change it for the first time. This one says it's a G550, so this one must be an American. Tell me about it. So it means it's 5.5. That's right, a gasoline engine. How many windshields? This is going to be the first one. What are the things you don't like in this car? Well, I don't like the seats, they are not comfortable enough. And this is a GL63. And he has a tuned exhaust. This is Brabus. Hello? What's up? How many windshields? It's a stock one. So this is the first one, unbelievable. Yes, I drive carefully. Yeah, I see there's even no dust on the front panel. That's a good job. I care about it. Excellent. A G55 AMG. Remember, boys and girls, if you see a G-Wagon and it says a G55 or a G63, it may not be true. Right? Right. How many windshields? It's two. Two. And how many miles you covered with it? 45,000. Well, actually, you had to change it long ago. Why don't bother with it? You decided not to change it before you fully destroyed this one. Did the car change you somehow? Did it make you a gangster? No. So you remain a normal, regular Irkutsk guy. That's right. That's good. Do you like it? Yeah. Well, have fun. Okay then, let's check out one more car. This is going to be the last one. It's actually quite unclear what kind of a car is this, but according to its sound, it sounds like a diesel, though it may be not. I'm not sure. What's up? Tell me about it. It's got a diesel engine. Did you hear that? Tell me what you don't like in this car. The suspension is too stiff. Okay, the suspension. And it's too clumsy on high speeds. Well, you could buy a 200 Land Cruiser. No thanks. Why not? Because it's the same clumsy. Right, the same. It is. So you prefer a square clumsy bastard than a rounded clumsy bastard? Sure. I heard you. And that's a good choice. This chrome cap is a disaster. And I used to change like 8 of them, because they used to corrode and rust in my previous car all the goddamn time and they didn't want to fix it. There is nothing much to see here, it's all the same, because all of these cars are almost identical, with only some slight difference in options. What an interesting thing the owner of this car forgot to pull out. Guys, this thing will kill you. Don't use it. And it doesn't matter what you drive, a G-Wagon or Toyota Prius, get rid of it. Okay. The navigation. I can't say it works fast and has some good reaction, because it's loading for ages. But let's check the other sub-menus. It actually has the quality and it's very good looking, but I don't like the reaction for the buttons. Maybe I just have to get used to it. By the way, these wooden elements are very beautiful. Okay, I admit it's stylish and it's beautiful. By the way, does it have any door closers? Nope. Anyway, they would die pretty fast because you have to slam it. These seats are wonderful and they have a massage option. And also they're heated and ventilated, dynamic select, configuration. Well, actually it's the same as in BMW. There are plenty of interesting things to explore. It has lots of interesting features and grooves. What I want to say is that this multimedia system is not that poor as it may seem to you at first sight. We can switch the suspension mode into sport, and also some helping systems to make it more sporty. And it has sound modes. It has a balanced mode and a powerful mode. Okay, let's turn it on, and where's the power? Let's switch it to sport. So what, where's the sound? Where's the cool sound? Without a doubt, this car is a spacecraft comparing to the previous one. If we talk about this multimedia system, for example, because the previous one was a disaster. You can tap messages if you want to, and the translation is good. Wow, I can even change the design of this dashboard. Okay, I choose sport. Or this one is perfect. What about a progressive? Well, no, I don't like the progressive one. And also I didn't like how this navigation system works, cause it's a little bit slow. Though someone may say I had to give it some time to load, so okay, whatever, I'll give it a chance. Well, it's not working smooth, it could be much better. No, wait, already found Irkutsk here, I like that. Well, this is awesome. I guess it's going to be lovely using it in my run, going through Chita, Khabarovsk, Vladivostok. Nice. Listen. And what about the music in this car, I wonder? What kind of a music I would like to listen in this car? I have no idea cause it's lagging as hell. Come on, Irkutsk internet, work! If I had to choose between all of these three cars, I guess I would get much more joy from this particular car. It has 20-inch wheels and is well balanced. and I can easily have fun with this car. And that will help me understand how this suspension works on some rough and bad road. So this is the exact car we choose for our trip to Lake Baikal. Well, this is it, boys and girls. We are at Lake Baikal. And this is a D3 test drive of the G63 G-Wagon. Yes, this is a completely different car. It's completely different. And it didn't become worse. You are going to like it. This car is excellent in turns, and its acceleration also became much better. On the whole, this car stands perfectly on the road, and I definitely cannot call this car a piece of crap. Though you can actually buy lots of different cars for 270,000. And of course it has some cheap plastic in some places. They should have replaced it. They could have made it much better. But in general, the concept of this car is actually pretty good. And also they could have made a better exhaust sound, because when I'm flooring it, I'd like to hear some evil sound. And yes, for some city driving, this sound is, well, okay. I can't call it bad, but I can call it good. That's why I would definitely change the exhaust system if I buy one of these. And if we talk about the acceleration of this car, I would recommend you to make some stage, well, let it be second, and get it going. None of Mercedes dealerships gave me this car for the test. And first I thought that's because they doubted about the quality of this automobile. But this car has changed my mind. We will talk about the quality of these automobiles after some time and some serious mileage. I don't know, maybe 60 or even 100,000 miles. They just didn't want to give a car to me. God damn. It's so freezing here on Lake Baikal. A man who always searches the way to expand his own borders, sooner or later finds it. And as a rule, everything ends up very badly. Guys, be very careful driving on the ice. We just wanted to make a couple of shots driving on frozen Lake Baikal, and so we did. And you have no idea how scary it was to drive a G-Wagon on the ice. Don't know how to describe it. If you have ever been sinking, you should understand how it feels like. And when you get on the ice again after that, everyone's making fun of you. And you know that they don't understand the risk, because it's really scary. So let's summarize all this trip and this test drive. Now I know that these stories about the comfort of G-Wagons are bullshit. This car is not comfortable. And while we were driving to Lake Baikal, we tried to shoot the nature and enjoy all of this beauty. And we had to drive quite slowly. We drove like about, well, maybe about 40 or 60 miles per hour. And the road was neither bad nor good as all the roads in Russia. This car is a bad choice for a long-distance trip. After driving the old G-Wagon all the way from Moscow to St. Petersburg, I felt not just tired, I felt exhausted. All I could do was just come home and fall asleep. I thought that this automobile was not only going to look beautiful and stylish and at the same time remain a true G-Wagon, but also become comfortable. But unfortunately it didn't. Yes, it's lost lots of its weight, and now it became much more interesting, that's true. No doubt about that, but this car is not comfortable. But I guess that was exactly what everyone expected from it, to become comfortable. A bad choice for a long-distance trip. If we talk about the multimedia and all the devices, you won't find any supernatural here. It does has massage seats, but it's not same cool as they do in BMWs. In BMWs it's much more effective. The braking system is much more better now than it used to be in the previous car. So as I have said, if you live away from big city and you have money and you are a fan of Mercedes, this car may become the best choice for you. Just don't buy the 22-inch wheels, please buy the 20s. My old G-Wagon used to be quite clumsy and stupid, and it used to have constant problems with the rear absorbers. I had to change them several times, though I never overloaded the car. And this car also have some problem with the rear axle. I always hear some strange noises from the back in all of these cars. All the same thing with all the 63 G-Wagons we drove, and all of them had the same issue with the rear suspension. I don't know whether Mercedes is going to fix it, but it looks like some defect. Finally, the cameras are working okay, though it's going to have all the same problems with the windshield as it used to be. So this car is controversial. Speaking for myself, once again I have to repeat myself, though I didn't want to. I didn't want to say it, but I will have to. I was really hoping that this G-Wagon is not going to be a piece of shit, but unfortunately it still is. I may assume that if they had put some pneumo suspension here and it wasn't same jumpy as it is, it would make a better impression. But anyway, if you use such a car in Irkutsk or some other region where it's same cold, I think that the lifetime of this car or any car may decrease several times. And that's why people who live outside big cities in Russia prefer Lexuses and Toyotas instead of G-Wagons. These cars simply refuse to die. These cars remain immortal at any weather and at any temperature. Japanese do cool stuff. These several days we spent in Siberia were awesome. All the Siberian land was awesome, and we met lots of awesome people driving this not awesome G-Wagon. And we are grateful to all Siberian people for your hospitality and for your love to motherland and for caring about all of this nature. And thanks for your likes and reposts. It was D3. And I'm going to make some final burnout, so let's buckle up. Don't be afraid to get wet or get burned. And don't be afraid to lose everything you've earned. Before fog and snowfall, you gotta stay calm, and don't fall on your knees before a bastard or scum. Never get scared of any hard task, but keep your eyes open before some fake luck. Always try to stay honest even in fights. Always stay hungry and keep away from lies. Meet all your fears and laugh in its face, and always fear nothing but your own cowardice.